I've been trying to figure out ways to get my other cars onto my channel. But my car decided to get on my channel the hard way. So if you look down here, there's no belt on my timing belt on my camshaft there. But if you look down further, the belt is down there. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, there it is. And I think it's in good shape. I found a sheared off bolt on the road, so I'm pretty sure that a pulley or tensioner gave out or something. So we're gonna get this apart and find out what happened. It's a little bit tough to see, but ran this magnet under the oil as I drained the oil out of there, and it's smiling at me. So you can see that it has two eyes and a mouth right there. Yeah, those are metal shavings. All right, a couple of updates. I just took there's a cover that goes over the belts here. I took that off. Took the little air intake right here off, and I'm getting ready to take the washer fluid reservoir off. I've drained the oil, and I got a bucket that I'm going to use to drain the coolant, letting the oil drain a little bit more just to get it all out of there. I took the oil filter off. You can see it sitting in there. And then we'll start doing more from there. So these are just the little things that you got to do beforehand. This is more just to give you room. The battery's out to give us room. Give us room there. We'll take the air box out as well. So a bunch of little things there. All right, quick update. So got the radiator out, air box, disconnected the 3 pigtails right there, disconnected the boost controller, disconnected the pigtails down there, and oh, now you can see my groovy. So years ago, we rebuilt the heads on this thing. And when I was putting the valve cover back on, we did it while the heads were in the car. Learned that's a huge mistake. Just pull the engine if you're going to do the heads. But when I was putting the valve cover back on this one, and I went from tight to loose, and you know what that means? It's stripped. It broke the head off that thing. So I put this C-clamp on there after we saw it was leaking a little bit of oil out of there. Put the C-clamp on that valve cover, and it's been on there for probably, I think it's been about 6 years now, and hasn't leaked oil out of that spot. At least, you know, it leaks a little bit, like a little bit, but not enough to be noticeable. So that's my question for you guys. Genius or trash? We'll see. All right, so what else do we got? I'm gonna start working on the back end and underneath. So I need to pull the starter out. I need to pull this dog bone out right here. Start getting the bolts off from the transmission to the engine, and then I need to pull this guy out, get it kind of out of the way so I can swing the power steering pump out of the way. I also need to swing the air conditioning out of the way. And that should pretty much detach me if I get those out of the way, except for the bolts in the back. So that's what I'll be doing next, and we'll see how that goes. All right, got the air conditioner compressor out. We got I pulled the alternator out because you have to get it out of the way to get to the air conditioner compressor. I didn't pull the power steering pump because that was kind of a pain. So it looks like you might have to remove the intake in order to get to some bolts back there. So I decided that it would be easier just to take the hoses off. So I did those high pressure, low pressure right there. Just swung them out of the way. I think I'm pretty much detached. I got this hoses off. There's no wires connecting over there. The only thing I have left is the fuel and the stuff in the back, the tranny connections. So work on that and I should be good. Okay, I think I got pretty much everything up top except for the fuel hoses. I'm waiting on those to do them last just because they're kind of stinky. So there is this one heater hose here, and then there's another one that goes down there. I got it tucked away right here now. And then I got the bolts that I can reach it on the top from the transmission. I got the bolts off of the turbo to the downpipe. And then, I do need to pull the clutch fork out there. So there's a pin that goes into the clutch fork over here. So I'm going to have to pull that. So I haven't done that yet, but I was going to get the bolts off the bottom first and kind of do that last, because that'll kind of release the car or the engine from the tranny. And so what I'm going to do is underneath there's the rest of the bolts for the transmission. There's the bolts for the engine mounts, and then there's some bolts that I'm going to loosen up to get that downpipe to move a little bit. And it should be it. Not too much longer, but I'm probably going to wrap up for tonight just because I am getting tired and yeah, getting done for the night. So I don't know if I pointed this out earlier. This is the bottom camshaft gear sprocket, what's left of the sprocket. So you can see that's totally trashed. Nothing left there. It should, look more like that where it has the actual sprockets on it. So that's what happened, is that thing went out for some reason. The belt looks fine, so I don't think it locked up and went out. I think it went out and released the belt. So that's where I got to get it tore apart and see if, we lost pistons and valves crunching together. All right, I went ahead and undid the stuff underneath. There's 4 bolts on the bottom of the transmission, 2 on each side. So there's actually a bolted nut on each side. And then what else do we do under there? I loosened up removed, there's a bracket to the transmission for this downpipe. So yeah, that's nasty. Let's clean that off. All right, so that gave me some play on this, so this can move around a little bit. I'm hoping that the engine kind of falls forward, and we got a lot of room in the front there, so I don't have to move that too much. If I do, I'm gonna have to unbolt it from the next pipe on there. So I think what I have to do now, I'm gonna lower the car back down a little bit because I had to get under it, but now I need to pull this pin from, it's under this cover here, I believe. So I'm gonna pull that open and pull that pin, and that should separate the engine from the tranny. Oh, the other thing I did is there's two 14mm bolts for the engine on the mounts for the right on the subframe. So I pulled those two nuts off. That's all I got. So hopefully when I pull that pin, it separates and we can start pulling it out. Okay, so I had to detach the 4 bolts in the back on the tranny, detach the bracket that held that guy on. I detached the, I don't know if I showed you, I pulled the pin. That's the pin that came out from the transmission over here. So you can see it comes out. Let's zoom in a little bit. Yeah, you can't really see very well with that dark area right there. There's a plug, and then that pin pulls out of there. So I got all that out. Should be completely detached. I got the hoist, as you can see. Typically these guys are used for like pivoting your engine forward and back, but since we got a nice wide engine, I'm going to use it sideways, and it gives me something to bolt onto and lift up with. So we'll see how that goes. So there you have it. Oh, are you gonna tell us? Yeah, tell me what happened. Did we take the engine out? Yeah, there it is. So pulled it out. It was a little bit of a pain, didn't want to come out. But it seemed like this little stud wanted to hold on a little bit, so that was a part that I had to pry a bunch. Now, I'm gonna go find my engine stand, bring it in here, mount this guy up. I'll have to take probably the clutch off or something to get it on there, and then mount this on there, and then you get out from under there. Start taking a look at what's wrong. I mean, we know this guy's trashed, but beyond that, let's see what I trashed. We have a problem. Yeah. So I'm adjusting here, but I can't really put this on the stand. I took the clutch off, you can see. It was pretty trashed, just BTY. Anyways, so I'm gonna have to just kind of go up there like this, so you can see I'm on the edge there, because those wheels don't fit between these two legs, and I guess they didn't consider these little short engines on these engine stands. But at any rate, I'll get it on there and get it on the stand. All right, so I ever so gently put the engine onto this stand and took it off the hoist. There we are. So now it's time to take it apart and see what is up with it. You can see a lot of oil down at the bottom here. You know, quite a bit on top there, but where I really see it is really gunked up here and down here, which makes me think that's probably part of what happened with this pulley. And then you can see a ton down here on the headers or the exhaust manifold, bunch down there. So I'm thinking like front main seal was probably leaking or something. Turbo looked all right. I spun it around. I didn't feel any shaft play. I don't see much oil down there. There's a little bit right there, but I think that was probably just from being spilled. And otherwise, yeah, it's just gonna be a lot of taking apart stuff. Well, I didn't realize when I flipped the engine up, the time lapse couldn't see what I was doing, but I was pulling the valve cover off and then the cam's out. One of the things that I wanted to show you on that is that I made sure to mark where they were. So I have the passenger side, I'm gonna have the driver's side over here. That's the exhaust cam, this is the intake cam, and then each of those buckets needs to be exactly where it belongs. So I just got it all labeled and set in here. So it should be, hopefully, as long as nobody comes along and kicks this thing or something. I also took the turbo off, just these bolts right here and the oil and water lines, and that was it. So that's about all I did. Otherwise, you saw the front end getting taken off, and I was hoping to see, you know, what it looked like in here, if there was any damage. Didn't see anything in here, which that was good. I'm not really seeing any shiny stuff in the oil either, which is really good. So we might be in better shape than I think. We'll see. You know, maybe just landed on the perfect non-interference set. I could be hopeful. All right, I'm back at it. So now I've got to, what are you talking about, huh? Now I'm going to remove now I got the turbo off, I'm going to go ahead and remove the rest of the exhaust manifold down here, the up pipe, and probably go ahead and pull this head off before I flip it over and do the other side. Here we go, moment of truth. We're gonna find out how much damage we have in here. Well, I see some contact. I'll show you that here in a second. Let's take a look at this side. Those don't look too bad. Let's see if I have it in frame here. Yeah, you can see. Not really seeing anything. You can't tell if they're bent or not really until I do like a liquid test on them to see if they're still sealed. I'll probably just take them to the machine shop if they don't look that bad, and have them redone. But let me show you the other side here. Okay. So you can see right here, there was some contact. Looks like a little bit right there and there. Otherwise, That looks pretty clean. Down in there, you can see a little bit of contact there. And possibly there. Yeah, I think that was contact as well. So it really looks like on this one, it was the intake side kind of got mashed, but you know, the thing I'm thinking is that it may have been just an initial quick contact when that belt let loose. Because if that is, I don't have it on here anymore, but where that pulley just disintegrated, loosened the belt, those things went loose, and these things tapped the valves back up into their place, and hopefully everything just kind of sat there nicely after that. I mean, maybe that's wishful thinking. I mean, looking at the inside of the bore, I mean, really, 220,000 miles on that. That doesn't look bad. I see a little bit of looks like some wear there, probably from the gasket given out. I haven't looked at the gasket yet, but I think that gasket was starting to fail because it would slowly lose water and things. So, at any rate, I'm going to get the other head off and we'll see what that looks like. All right, so we get a better look at my janky little fix here, and I found out after all this time, I thought it was a valve cover that I was clamping down, and it's actually the main. So that's the main cap for the intake cam. So main cap for the intake cam that I apparently just broke the top of that bolt off and decided to clamp it. Yes, I did that, but you know what? Look at right there, right where it's at. There's very little oil around it, so it worked. It did its job. Again, janky or genius? I don't know. All right, here comes our second moment of truth. Let's see. Oh, you take that off. One little 10 millimeter. Just need to pull this on. Hey. Okay. Put that back in there just to not lose it. Oh, the tension's killing me. How's this one gonna look? Well, let's take a look. Ooh. Yikes. All right, I'll take a look at this other side real quick. So this definitely got the worst of it. I'll show you here in a second. But first, let's flip this over. So I can definitely see, let me pull my gloves off for at least one of them off here so I can video this. All right. Okay, so you can see these valves are sitting out just a little bit. They're definitely bent, I can tell, just because of the way they're sitting out here. And then you can see they got damaged here and here. That one got damaged there. That one got really damaged there. This one got damaged, and again. So this head is, every valve is bent, it looks like. And It looks like everyone came into contact. Let me show you the pistons. So it did a really good job of starting to clean the carbon off as it bashed into the valves. You can see that there's quite a bit of marking on those areas there, quite a bit there and there, just bashing into the valves there. Same on this one. I just don't trust it now. Those valves are bent to shit, I'm sure. Pardon my language. So what's this gonna mean for me at this point? Well, for my car. I think what it's gonna mean and what I'm gonna shoot for is an EJ207. I've been looking at those engines for a long time for this car. The car had 220,000 miles on it, and it was tired already. And you know, I can get a JDM EJ207. It ain't cheap, so that's going to be the biggest barrier now, is paying for that. So I'm going to start looking, and more to come.